This is another video on factoring. This time we're going to do a method that has lots of different names. I've heard it called the Texas slide, the slip and slide, just the slide. All of it has to do something with sliding apparently. But we're going to give a practice problem. Here, let's do the one we just did. 5n squared minus 49n plus 72. 5n squared minus 49n plus 72. Okay? So when I taught this, when I learned this, mine went one way, yours might have gone a different way. Just go with me. If you have any suggestions on anything I might add to the videos, let me know. We've already done our product sum chart. We know that when we multiply these, 5 times 72 is positive 360. Now, I'm going to show something here that a lot of teachers skip over, but I think it will help you understand a little bit better how your variables end up where they end up. Because most of the time this is just taught as a trick. And instead of teaching as a trick, I'm going to try to turn it into this is why it works. So see how this had an n squared? Let's put that there. So we already know we're looking for a product of 360, which by the way is 360n squared, and a sum of negative 49n. Okay, see how they line up right here? Product, sum. We already know that our numbers we're going to use from our chart were negative 9 and negative 40. Now when I split this up into negative 9 and negative 40, in order for them to add up to be 49n, they both have to have an n. That also works so that when they multiply, they equal n squared. Okay, and a lot of you, probably all of you, are saying, wait a minute, Miss Fenwick, why are we putting n's in here? But if you just watch, I promise you'll see that it works out the way you're used to, but adding this one piece should help you understand where all of the n's went, where they ended up. So now, in order to do this, you realize that we have to divide by 5, because that's the lead coefficient, to simplify. Well, in this case, we're going to divide by 5n squared. A lot of your teachers told you just to put 5n underneath and leave off the n on the top. I did it this way so that you can see where everything actually went, why it went there, and we can simplify correctly. So here, negative 9 and 5 don't have anything in common, but n goes into n squared. So I really have negative 9 over 5n. On this side, cross the whole thing out when you're done with that. Negative 40 over 5 is negative 8. N goes into n squared, and I'm done with that. Now, here comes the slide part that you should have learned. Whatever's on the bottom comes around in front of that sign. So we have 5n minus 9 and n minus 8. The reason I do like this one is that I can do it in my head pretty easy. Kind of just depends on how much practice you get with all the different methods. We've gone over box, we've gone over factor by grouping, and we've gone over the slip and slide or the Texas slide or whatever you want it to be. Let's do another one of those just to give us a little bit more practice and see how we're doing. Look at my problem choices that I have. Let's go with 6a squared minus 11a plus 4. So this 6 times 4 is positive 24a squared. I want to know what multiplies to be positive 24a squared and adds to be negative 11. If it's going to multiply to be positive and add to be negative, they're both going to be negative. If you're not sure why that works, try all the signs until you get it to work. All right, 1 and 24, 2 and 12, 3 and 8, 3 and 8. So 3a and 8a make 11a. When you multiply them, they make 24a squared. Always double check. Sometimes some of you will do better if you actually write it down and make sure you're getting negative 11a. Negative 3a times negative 8a is positive 24a squared. All right, now we put these over 6a squared, and we're going to simplify. Negative 3 over 6 gives me a negative 1 over 2. I can put the 1 if I want to, but I really didn't. Oh, but I need it. So a goes into a squared, and I have an a down here. Your a should always be on the bottom unless your stuff was out of order, and then you need to work on it a different way. This one, 8 and 6 divide by 2, so I have negative 4 over 3. A goes into a squared with an a. So my answers are 2a minus 1 is the first factor I have, and 3a minus 4. So just a quick reminder about the commutative property of multiplication. You could turn this around to be 3a minus 4 times 2a minus 1. What you could not do is mix your 2a with your 4 and your 3a with your 1. You can't swap things out of parentheses. Excuse me. Now I'd like to show you one more reason that this works so well when you do your powers in there the way we've done. If we had another example, let's say this time that we had 3x to the 6th plus 6, 8x to the 3rd plus 4. First thing we would look for is a GCF because you guys are confused about why we have a 6th and a 3rd power. But there is no GCF for this one, okay? This, as long as your first power is even and your second power is half of first power, and your last term is a constant, then this can be factored just like we did the others. So watch, this is where those powers come in handy. Multiply here and we get positive 12x to the 6th. 12 is 1 and 12, 2 and 6, 3 and 4. 2 and 6 is what's going to give me positive 8. So since I want to multiply to be 6, which adds powers, and add to be x to the 3rd, which means they both have to be x to the 3rd, positive 2x to the 3rd, positive 6x to the 3rd. It multiplies to be 12x to the 6th, and it adds to be 8x to the 3rd. Divide by that lead term, 3x to the 6th. And simplify. So here, that takes 3 of these away, and we have positive 2 over 3x to the 3rd. Here, those simplify, and this takes 3 of those away. So I have positive 2 over x to the 3rd. If I bring those bottom pieces around, slide, I have 3x to the 3rd plus 2, and then x to the 3rd plus 2. Remember, if you FOIL or box these back out or use distribution to multiply them back out, they will give you back this original problem. Okay? So there's my last factoring video. I have some practice problems that I will probably try to put up later on today for you to use whenever you like. I'll also include the key so that you can check and you can come back and ask questions if you need to. Okay? Good luck.